Hello everyone, this is Mr. Ege, user-friendly instructor. I'm going to explain a little bit about the project called Proportions, and you're going to be generating this project in 4 phases. In the first phase, you're going to create a triangle, and at the proportions of 3, 4, and 5. One side is going to be 3 inches, another side is going to be 4 inches, and the hypotenuse is going to be 5 inches. This is a very well-known proportions for architects, engineers, and surveyors. It's the right triangle, and then you're going to complete this triangle to a full rectangle, and then you're going to create another rectangle, half of the size of this rectangle, using half of the dimensions. When you're doing this, I'm going to ask you to use either AutoCAD 2010 or 12. Proportions are important if there's going to be a change of design. If you're creating 2 rectangles, either they're supposed to be same or somehow proportionally different from each other. You're going to be generating the first rectangle from individual lines, and second rectangle perhaps from the rectangle command, using the rectangle command. In the meantime, you're going to be using relative coordinates and the polar coordinates. In the second phase, I will ask you to divide the first rectangle. First erase the diagonal line, and then divide the first rectangle into 4, then the second rectangle, and then complete the entire design into a one large rectangle. And as you can see, the zones will be proportional to each other, and the proportion that you use is going to be half scale. Everything is going to be proportional. All the rectangles are going to be proportionally small from each other. And then I'm going to ask you to create a design such as this one, resembling the houses and the sailboats on the sea. And then I'm going to ask you to color, using the boundary hatch command, this scene. And that's the purpose, that's the goal of the design. Okay, now we're going to make ourselves a room. We're going to start with the line command, and more or less in the middle of the lower left hand corner of the screen, you're going to select a point by clicking with the left mouse button, and then you're going to enter at, which is shift 2. That's going to be 4-inch line, horizontal line, so type 4, angle bracket or left chevron mark, and then type 0 because you're going to east. Now you're going to go to north, and that's going to be 3-inch line. Again, at symbol is necessary. At indicates how far it's going to be from the first previous point. Then 3, enter, and chevron mark, and 90 degrees. If you type C, computer will find the first point automatically and connect the last point to the first point. This is going to be right triangle of 3, 4, 5 proportions, very well known triangle. And now we're going to complete this to a rectangle. Again, line command. We can pick the top corner because object snaps are selected. I want to show you another feature called object snap tracking. Object snaps automatically finds you end of the lines, midpoint of the lines, and so on. Object snap tracking is the icon right after the object snap. Enables you to find the intersection of the 2 lines, the footprint of the 2 lines, and the moment you see the ghost lines, you click with the left mouse button and enter key. So first rectangle is complete. I want you to use this time rectangle command instead of constructing the rectangle from lines. I want you to use rectangle command and select the upper right hand corner of the initial first rectangle, and pick that corner and type add. This time this rectangle is going to be half size of the other rectangle. Dimensions are halfway, so computer needs to know exactly where the upper right hand corner of the line is, so that's why you need to type add or shift 2, and this is going to be half of 4 inches, that is 2 comma 1.5. 2 comma 1.5. This is a, as you can notice, this is a relative coordinate. And then now the second rectangle is created with the dimensions half of the first rectangle. Notice that area is 1/4 of the first rectangle. Now we're going to erase the diagonal line in between upper right and lower left hand corner. Now we're going to create two rectangles, form the two rectangles to make one rectangle out of this using Object Snap Tracking feature. Object Snap Tracking feature sees the relationship between where you want to go and where you're coming from and shows the intersection. And enter key. When you click, when you see the ghost line or footprint line, you need to show with your cursor where you want to go and where you want the footprint, and then enter key. Okay, now we have one big rectangle made out of 4 smaller rectangles, proportionally smaller, and now we're going to divide each rectangle into 4 equal rectangles for the purpose of design. To draw a line between midpoint to midpoint, you need to go to the line command under the draw and make sure that Object Snap is turned on. Make sure that everything is selected in Object Snap, midpoints, endpoints, center points. When you see the green triangle, that means computer already located where the midpoint is, so you can left mouse click, press on the left mouse button, and then it needs another line again, so you need to hit enter key or go to line command, and as soon as you see the triangle, green triangle, enter. Do the same thing for the rest of the rectangles by dividing each rectangle into 4 equal rectangles, 4 equal zones. Enter, enter. In the first enter, it ends the line command. In the second enter, it recalls the last command, and enter, line ends, enter again, line command comes back. So we have 16 proportionally different rectangles from each other. Now we're going to design a sailboat. Okay. And this sailboat, because two rectangles are exactly the same, can be copied to the neighboring rectangle using the copy command. Copy is CP, or you can move your cursor or modify and select the copy command and pick the lower left corner. Okay. Now this time we need to create a house or a residence. Computer graphics expression of the residence. We need to create the windows and the walls. Now window is almost done. Enter key. And now that needs to be also copied in the neighboring bay. And enter. This is good. But what are we going to do in the next area? Because the proportions are going to change, so we cannot use the copy command. In order to be able to change the proportions, we're going to have to create a block out of the design, block out of the building, and then we're going to insert this block at certain proportions in the X or Y directions. There's a block command. You can type block if you want to, or you can go to draw block and type RE. I'm typing RES for residence, and that's where you wanna. And then I'm selecting the point, the insertion point, and then I'm selecting the entire residential building. I should be selecting only the building itself. Okay. And I think it's everything created, and I'm gonna okay it. And when you do this, make sure that you close the toolbar. Now you can go to draw and insert. Insert the block, select the block, but make sure that you change the proportion in the X direction. That is crucial because the next area is half size of the where the block is created. So change the X direction 0.5 or 0.5. Okay it, and see if we could insert this. It did. It worked just fine. We're going to use the same technique and make blocks and insert the objects proportionally in either in the X or Y directions. Making block and inserting at different proportions is one of the smarter ways of doing this project using AutoCAD. Of course, you can draw everything in freehand. But perhaps it's much easier to make blocks and insert them in different proportions. It's more productive too. So now I'm changing a Y scale from 1 to 0.5, or typing just 0.5. Okay. And I'm turning off object snap. Sometimes object snap helps you, sometimes it gets in the way, so that I can insert the building accurately. I believe in the previous projects you learned how to color in the areas using boundary hash command. I will ask you to complete this project on your own and show it to me, or call me for feedback. Thank you very much for your time. This is the final product. That's how it's going to look like.